Is this normal? It's probably nothing serious. Maybe I'll feel better tomorrow.
Emergency symptoms can be good at hiding. That's why you shouldn't ignore symptoms like chest pain, high fever, trouble breathing, or severe stomach pain. They could be a medical emergency in disguise. Thankfully, an Eastside ER is ready to serve you 24/7 with fast wait times and dedicated ER experts, so we can quickly help turn your questions into answers. Visit eastsidemedical.com.
Broadcasting live from the Subaru of Gwinnett studio inside the Sonesta Gwinnett Place Atlanta Hotel. It's time for Gwinnett Business Radio. Gwinnett Business Radio is cared for by Eastside Medical Center, providing quality care to Gwinnett County and the greater Atlanta area for over 38 years.
And hello again, everybody, and welcome to Gwinnett Business Radio. We're broadcasting live from the Subaru of Gwinnett studio in the beautiful Sonesta Gwinnett Place Atlanta Hotel. And I am Mike Salmon, sitting alongside the beautiful Stephen Julian. Good morning, Stephen.
Well, you need to get your eyes checked. We figured that out already this morning.
Yes.
That might be your doctor calling right there.
Yeah, the phone just rang in the background here. No one ever calls the studio, but only when we're on the air.
Only our show, and only today.
It's either a sales call or a guest might be lost. But anyway, we have a couple great guests in the studio. Nya Ebama is here from AbosluteCARE Medical Center and Pharmacy, and Donna Linden from Trinity Staffing and Career Resources. But before we do that, let's take care of one of our partners.
I'll be happy to take care of that. We want to remind everybody that Gwinnett Business Radio does come to you live from the Subaru of Gwinnett studios. Love is what makes a Subaru. Get big savings and enjoy their hassle-free experience at Subaru of Gwinnett, where people sell cars. Visit SubaruofGwinnett.com and join their family today. Come in and see the difference. Maybe you're already a Subaruist. Then follow Subaru of Gwinnett's Facebook page for the latest Subaru offers, news, and community events. Back to you, Mike.
All right, let's get right to it. And our first guest is Donna Linden with Trinity Staffing and Career Resources. Donna, good morning.
Good morning.
Great to see you. Tell us about Trinity Staffing and Career Resources. What do you do?
Well, we are an insurance staffing company. Everything insurance is our focus.
That's all you do?
That's all you need to do, right?
Yes.
So
expand on that a little bit.
Yeah. Well, that surprised me, because when you hear staffing, a lot of staffing companies do a lot of different type of staffing. We do IT, we do this, we do that. So just insurance. Who are the main people that are looking for insurance staffing?
Well, insurance staffing is the companies. You got the carriers, you got third-party administrators, you got the agents and brokers. But when I say insurance staffing, under the umbrella of insurance staffing, you have IT, insurance companies, they need IT. You have accounting, you have underwriting, you have agents. So it's actually everything, the umbrella under insurance staffing.
That is a fantastic answer. So I had to get that out of you a little bit. So is it so you could be working with anything from the large national companies that we could probably name off a few, but you're also working with agencies that are local.
Yes.
That have maybe one agent or just a few agents, or they've got a relatively small team, but they need some of that subsidiary help, whether it's IT or admin or something like that. Correct?
Absolutely.
Okay. Is it do you work almost exclusively locally here in the Metro Atlanta area, or
for right now?
Okay. So now we've gotten one of your goals.
Absolutely.
So
we will expand eventually, but for right now.
So let me ask it this way: what have been who have been some of the best clients? And if you can't give names, I understand. But what have been some of the best situations where you've really been able to help a particular company or a particular insurance carrier from your work, that you've been able to go, man, we were really able to help them with a particular staffing need?
Well, actually, it's more on the agent side.
Okay.
Agents that actually was in need of staffing, and they was desperately trying to look for a particular position to be filled, and we were able to provide that.
Because a lot of times when it comes to finding agents, it's really just they've got some banner ad on a website, and people are they get all kinds of applicants. You've been able to help a particular agency find the right type of agent to take the next step. Oh, fantastic! I like that. So how'd you get involved in this? Well, give us a little bit of the Donna Linden story of how you got involved doing this.
Actually, the story is a lady shared with me her experience of actually registering with a staffing company, how she was treated. But then also, after my 25 years of insurance experience, and once that time ended, then I actually was doing some volunteer work, and I actually led the execution of the establishment of our career ministry at Berean Christian Church, Gwinnett. And actually during that time, to this date, I have helped to organize 7 career fairs, and our 5th career fair was in partnership with Gwinnett County government. So I not only was actually heavily recruiting for local, state, and federal government agencies to attend the career fairs, but also for businesses, local businesses to attend, and also recruiting for the attendees. So bringing together employers now that were desperately looking for applicants.
Yeah.
And then you have job seekers that were desperately looking for opportunities. I was able to merge the two together. So as doing that, and we have had many success stories of people finding opportunities. So just falling in love with that and knowing that I was able to help people find opportunities led into Trinity Staffing and Career Resources.
So Trinity has a couple of meetings. Obviously, if it started out of some volunteer work with the church, there's a meaning for Trinity there.
Absolutely.
But the Trinity of an employer, an employee, and someone to kind of bring them together, I'm like, yeah, it's interesting. I like that. It's got a lot of layers to the meaning of the word Trinity. That's cool.
Our guest is Donna Linden. She's the founder and CEO of Trinity Staffing and Career Resources. And we talk to a lot of folks who are entrepreneurs and are thinking about maybe starting their own business. And a lot of our listeners are in the same boat as well. You obviously took the leap of faith and decided, I'm going to have my own business and start my own business. Talk about the decision going into that, because for a lot of folks, that's kind of scary.
Absolutely. It was, because you go from the day-to-day knowing every 2 weeks you're going to get a paycheck to now you got to make that paycheck. So you got to have the discipline to actively every day you're seeking out for potential clients to actually meet that need, to now turn that client into a paycheck. So you have nobody pushing you, but you have to push yourself. So every day you're waking up knowing that, hey, I have to make it happen. I have to go the extra mile and do what I need to do to not only get a paycheck, but also to bless people and opportunities.
In your 25-year career before you started the company, were you just an agent, or did you get involved in some of the HR and hiring, and because what I'm hearing come through very clearly is anyone you help, you've got some experience, and you kind of you know how to speak the language, and you've walked the journey before them, correct?
Within my 25-year experience, actually, I was a rater. I did the clerical. I did underwriting. I had some in the IT realm of functional business analyst. Yeah. So actually, a wide range of different roles that I actually had to play during my 25-year term.
So that's one reason why people should choose Trinity, is because of your experience and because you know the industry inside and out. I think another reason people might want to choose you is because on your very front page of your website it says "Why choose us," and there's a proprietary thing that says our 3 Ps. Can you dig into that a little bit and tell me a little bit about that?
Well, our 3 Ps are preparation, professional, and phenomenal.
Phenomenal. Doesn't it start with F? Oh, no, that's a P. Okay. I'm just
spelling
kidding.
Is not one of the necessary.
I'm just kidding.
So talk a little bit more about that. Why those 3 words? What does that mean to Trinity and to the people you guys help staff?
Well, preparation. We make sure that our professionals are ready, equipped, and have a clear understanding of our company's needs. And professional. We want to make sure that the professionals that we actually are getting actually are a good fit for that particular organization. And phenomenal. We want to provide a phenomenal experience for our clients every time a particular employee comes from Trinity Staffing and Career Resources, LLC.
Don, I'm going to ask you to look into the crystal ball right now and try to look into the future. Looking ahead, what are some of the goals, and where do you want to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now?
Within the next 12 months, just to start off, actually, I want to place at least 50 insurance professionals in the insurance industry. And as the need arises for our particular clients, then I want to also place mid-level to upper-level employees. And also within that 5-year span, I want to be able to branch off to another location and also start providing continuing education classes for our employers and for our employees.
Wow. And when it comes to Donna Linden and Trinity Staffing and Career Resources, what's something that might surprise us or surprise somebody that works with you? I know I'm pulling a question out of thin air here, but something that people maybe aren't aware of, don't know about you. Trying to get some good dirt here. No.
You've made her blush, I think, a little bit. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, actually, you know what? Something that I would say that surprised us, because I'm also a licensed minister of the gospel.
Nice. So you can help someone find a career, and you can help someone settle where they're going in eternity.
So, well, I also bring this.
What's true?
Yes. So that, because it's like I said, because it's also something that is bringing the spiritual aspect, not necessarily that it would come up at all times, but to know, number one, that is something that surprised people that I have that in my background.
Yeah, I like that. Very good. So Mike asked you a question about the future. Let me ask you a question about the present. You obviously are looking for employers, so local insurance agencies who might be ready to take that next step, hire a particular person on their team. They can go through you rather than wading through thousands of applicants and resumes and going through all that process, which takes the time away. You're also looking for, is there a particular type of employee that you're kind of looking to recruit? Is it just people looking to become agents or professionals in the insurance industry? What are some of the other positions right now that you're really actively searching to kind of be able to recruit and staff them somewhere?
Actually, underwriting positions, IT positions, administrative and clerical positions.
As someone who does, I'm an independent financial advisor, as someone who does that, I would imagine administrative positions are the agents. That's probably one of the first positions that you look to bring on when you're kind of doing everything yourself and you're ready to take that first step.
Absolutely.
You're looking to add an administrative position. And I know when I went through that process, a lot of those guys, they're thinking, I don't know, from a friend of mine's neighbor is looking for, they did that in the past. I mean, you're just kind of doing word of mouth. So to be able to use you, what would that process look like? Let me ask that question.
We have 4 critical steps in our process. Identifying, motivational fit assessment, skills assessment, and comprehensive background check and reference checks. And the benefit that those particular steps actually would serve to whether it's an agent, whether it's a company, is that number one is that we have thoroughly vetted our candidates. So you're going in with the full understanding that these candidates have went through a very critical, systematic process.
Mike, that's a long way from my neighbor's friend. I mean, again, so many people. It might just be word of mouth, or to go through a process like that, you're going to come out with confidence.
Absolutely.
Of the candidate that you're getting.
Absolutely. And one other thing I wanted to add is that we're also a BBB accredited business. So that comes with the trust that everybody know what the BBB stands for. So
in case those who do, I get to play the ignorant person. So for those, what does the BBB stand for?
The Better Business Bureau.
There you go.
Were you just playing the ignorant person?
And there's a difference between being a member of the Better Business Bureau and being accredited.
Absolutely,
by them.
absolutely, because you have to actually go through a thorough vetting process because they got to make sure that what you're saying out there is credible, that you're a trustworthy company. So it comes with a very high responsibility as far as integrity, honesty.
Very good.
Honesty.
And
I felt like she was another word was coming out.
And ethics.
Ethics. There we go. Okay.
I cut her off. That's my fault.
I want to finish the thought. Most important question we're going to ask you right now, Donna, for those that would like to reach out and talk to you, find out more about your services, where can they get some information about you?
Sure. My website is trinitystaffingcr.com. And also our phone number is 678-467-0530.
Great stuff. Donna, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Donna Linden with Trinity Staffing and Career Resources here on Gwinnett Business Radio.
Mike, we heard from Donna, and she talked about being able to be a great place for a great career. I know another great place for a great career, and that's at Waffle House. Waffle House is known for great food served by friendly people. However, Waffle House is also known as a place for a great career. It's a place where you work in a family atmosphere that promotes success, inclusion, and a genuine care for customers and teammates. Whether it's a server or a cook or a host or a manager, Waffle House has the right recipe for success for you. Go to whcareers.com today, and our listeners can learn more.
You know a good place for breakfast?
I went there this morning.
That's my boy.
My two youngest, Zach and Elijah, were off school this morning. I said, hey, guys, before I go to RadioX, let's go grab some Waffle House.
How was it?
It was fantastic. My son, Zach, is absolutely in love with the Texas toast bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich. I have moved on. I've got a new favorite dish.
Oh, really? What's that now?
Because now it's the old-fashioned Philly cheesesteak omelet.
Wow.
Fantastic. And you can ask for none of the bread if you're not one of these, if you're trying to stay off the breads and the carbs. It's a good omelet, old fashioned with steak and onions.
Well, now I want to go eat.
Yeah.
Do we need to do?
No, we got one more interview.
Do we have to talk to Nya now?
Yeah, we have to talk to Nya.
Nya Ebama from AbosluteCARE Medical Center and Pharmacy. She is the infectious disease physician. And how are you this morning?
I'm doing great.
I actually was about to say
there's too many jokes, right?
No. I actually have like a something bit me on my arm here, and it's not looking good.
Oh, now we know why Nya's
And I was like,
show.
can you look at my infectious disease? But it would just
no.
come out the wrong way.
Yeah.
So I'm glad.
I thought there was an obvious joke there about me being an infectious disease.
No, because infectious disease is nothing to laugh about.
Ah, there we go. That's why we brought a specialist in.
Yes. Nya, tell us all about AbosluteCARE Medical Center and Pharmacy.
So AbosluteCARE started in the 90s. I actually joined them in April, so I'm very fortunate to be with them. It's a medical center that has primary care and infectious disease. And infectious disease sounds pretty daunting, but it basically says we deal with all kinds of infections, whether acute and chronic. Mostly the chronic conditions we treat there are HIV, hepatitis B and C. But we also have other services. We have a health educator. We have a nutritionist. We have pharmacy. Pharmacy there. We have a lab station so people can get their blood tests there. Social work for help with insurances, and behavioral consultants.
So plenty of different services that are available right there.
Yes.
Okay. I want to find out a little bit more about you.
Okay.
When you were growing up, 8-year-old playing in the streets, doing the jump rope or something, did you say, I want to grow up to be an infectious disease physician?
Actually, I didn't say that, but I was 8 years old, so it's funny that
Were you
doing
the jump rope?
No, I was.
I was.
I remember being on top of a table, and telling my mom, hey, I want to be a doctor so I can help people.
Oh, that's
Really?
awesome.
And then it just went from there. From high school, I planned all my classes. College, planned all my classes. Went to medical school. And it wasn't until medical school that I saw a doctor in the hospital, and she looked cool. And I said, wow, there's a thing called a hospitalist. And I said, let me do that. How do I do that? And they said, well, you have to apply for internal medicine residency. And I said, okay, cool, I'll apply. And I applied, and then my first rotation was in infectious diseases, and I said, well, this looks cool, so let me just follow that passion and apply to the fellowship. So I got the fellowship. There was one spot. So I said, well, I guess I should go. So I continued that passion. So I went into the infectious disease realm, loved it, and started working in Myrtle Beach, and then ended up in Atlanta in March.
And you kind of hinted at this in the first answer you gave when you were given a great overview of AbosluteCARE. But it sounds like infectious disease, it sounds like a wide spectrum, right? I mean, it sounds like, again, we were half joking, saying we shouldn't be joking about it, and we shouldn't. Mm-hmm. But it also sounds like, I think some people would think, oh, infectious disease, I don't have that. So how wide is that spectrum? I mean, as someone involved in the infectious disease, what's the spectrum of things that you can come across?
Well, I like to divide them in two sections, acute and chronic conditions. So acute conditions range from bacteremia, which means blood and bacteria in your blood, osteomyelitis, bone infections. Rashes can become infectious as well, but those are mostly acute. So acute is something that comes on usually rapidly and can go away with either an antibiotic or antifungal. Then you deal with the chronic infections, things that you have to live things with lifelong or a little bit longer than just a month. So you have your hepatitis B, you have your hepatitis C, you have HIV. And sometimes you can put in chronic infections as recurrent infections because some people are predisposed to getting recurrences depending on their anatomy.
And specifically in the infectious disease, it sounds a lot like those are things that have already been diagnosed in someone's case and then they come to you for the care. Am I doing that right? Or are you guys also involved from the very beginning where people come to you, something's going on, I don't know what it is?
So it's a little bit of both. Mostly people have been diagnosed, they've been to a primary care doctor and they say, I've been diagnosed with this. Sometimes they come and they say, I think I have something, fix me. And we say, oh, good, it's not an infection, but you may have something. And then we help guide their therapy that way. And a lot of times it turns into something like autoimmune, genetic, but at least we help them, we guide their therapy in ruling out the infection. And then others just walk off the street and they say, well, fix me in that way.
Steven gets that all the time. He's like, fix me. And some things you just can't fix.
Thankfully, at Absolute Care, they do a good job doing a lot more than I could do, that's for sure.
Nya, you mentioned that you treat HIV. What do you want people out there to know about HIV?
Well, first, it's treatable. It's not a death sentence. But a lot of people still don't know that it's a big problem in Metro Atlanta. Predominantly against males are getting it. So I want people to know that because it's treatable, it's also preventable. And I talk about prevention in different ways. One is when the person is infected, if they take their medicine, they prevent from it spreading it to someone else. And then there's also a pill called Truvada that called PrEP, which I'm sure you've seen commercials for, that also prevents HIV. And last but not least is communication, talking to your partner, talking to yourself, trusting your gut about who you're with. All those things help prevent HIV.
I know one of the things on your website and one of the things you guys talk about is you have something called a wraparound care model. Because when you're first introduced, I'm sure people think, oh, you're a hospital. And you're not really that. So talk a little bit about what's unique about Absolute Care.
Okay. So I'll give best things to give you an example in terms of how we care for the patient. Patient comes in, I think about maybe a few days ago, newly diagnosed HIV, not mentally there about the new diagnosis, but he doesn't say that when he makes the appointment. He just says, I've been newly diagnosed. So we talk about it, and I realize, you know what, he's dealing with depression, he's dealing with acceptance. He needs to know counseling about his medications. And I immediately, when the nurse who triages him recognizes that, she tells me, and I say, well, call a behavioral health consultant, see if they're available to come around, say hello, see a friendly face, because that's the main thing. It's like, oh, I don't want to talk to a therapist. But if they see a friendly face and it looks
helps.
Suitable,
Yeah.
it helps a lot. Then, if you notice that their BMI is high, we say, okay, call the dietitian if they can come around, say hello. Same with pharmacy. They say, hey, the pharmacy is down the hallway, so you don't have to leave the building. We also have the peer counselors that if they're available, they come and say, hey, I have it too, it's okay. So it's sort of that wraparound model that we don't let the patient leave until they've at least been introduced to everything we can do for them, everything we can do to help their care.
And there is availability in certain circumstances for people to be able to stay. So much like a hospital, hey, I've got a room. And I mean, is there beds for people to basically stay around the clock if needed?
No.
Okay.
No.
So the other thing I wanted to point out is on your website, right underneath Absolute Care, it says patient-centered medical care. What does that mean to you? Because I've got things that pop in my mind, but I'm not a doctor and I don't work there. So I wanted to let you expand on that a little bit.
It just means that we really focus on the patients and their needs. Just like that example, it's whatever they need and they think they need or what we recognize that they might need not at that moment, but down the road, we introduce them and we say, hey, it's okay. And in addition to that, we don't charge their insurance for all these extra services. We say, you're part of the family, have at it.
And what came across to me is the idea of a little bit of relationship, going beyond just fix me, meaning take this pill or go through this series of antibiotics. There are a lot of circumstances where somebody needs to see a friendly face. Somebody needs to be heard. So the ability to maybe go a little bit into a little bit more of a relational care rather than just physical care. I mean, am I saying that right? Or I mean, it sounds like that's, and so you're centered more on the patient, the actual person, rather than just, we saw 92 people today or 92, whatever.
Absolutely.
Great question. Great question.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a rarity for you to give me a great question. Huh?
Well, I was joking because there was no question. You just made a statement. That was the whole idea.
Sorry.
Give your location for folks that want to check it out and talk about where you're located.
So we're located on 2140 Peachtree Road, Suite 232. So it's right down the street from Piedmont Atlanta Hospital, right in the Houston's complex. You can come, eat, and visit us.
Oh, nice. Do
You
people
make a day of it.
Yeah, exactly. And should they go through their insurance company to contact you first, or they can reach out directly?
I would say reach out directly,
Okay.
and we can sort that out.
If you're building a relationship, you can help them navigate the waters of insurance.
Absolutely.
Nice.
So where's the best place to go to find out more information about Absolute Care
I thought you were
Medical
gonna,
Center?
I thought you were going to ask what's the best place to eat right around there, but that's my problem.
www.absolutecare.com.
AbsoluteCare.com. Nya Ebama, Absolute Care Medical Center and Pharmacy. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
That's the first time we've had an infectious disease physician in the studio.
Is it going to be odd and awkward if I, after the show, if I,
Yes,
pull
whatever
up
you
my
say,
sleeve and
yes.
say, "Can you look at this? What do you think?"
I think what'll happen is Amanda will get video of that. She'll get a boomerang. Yeah, I was thinking parabola, but that's my strange mathematical mind. Yeah, she'll get a boomerang of that. It'll be
Boomerang's
great.
one of those little apps that our kids
No,
play with.
it's a type of picture.
Yeah.
that it's like
Goes
4
back and
seconds.
forth, back and forth,
Amanda
back and
loves
forth.
it. She has it all over. People can go to Business Radio X, the social media, and she's got it all over the place. All right, hey Mike, I want to remind everybody that it was great to have, like I said, first time we've ever had an infectious disease physician in the studio.
First time for everything.
Exactly, and we certainly want people to go visit Absolute Care. Also want to remind people that Gwinnett Business Radio is cared for by Eastside Medical Center. Quality care close to home. Eastside Medical has been a community healthcare leader for over 39 years. Nationally recognized for patient safety, Eastside focuses on delivering quality care with exceptional outcomes by using the most advanced technology and experienced physicians. For more information on Eastside's system of care, visit eastsidemedical.com.
All right, Steve, I want to remind everybody that you can enjoy any of our programs anytime by going to BusinessRadioX.com. Select the Gwinnett Studio. You'll see all our shows there, and they're all archived as well. Also, be sure to follow us on social media at Gwinnett Radio X on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn. We are all over the place.
Mike, you need to get that looked at.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I appreciate that. All right, until next time, for Stephen and for Amanda, who's done a great job running the board.
Yay.
We assume that this is being recorded. If it's not, then she's not doing a good job. It is being recorded. We do have a show. We do have a podcast.
And people can listen to that podcast through Apple iTunes, through Stitcher, through iHeartRadio, and any other favorite podcasting platform. And in fact, if we're not on your favorite podcasting platform, let us know.
Shame on you.
Yeah. No, shame on us.
Till next time, for Steve and I'm Mike. We'll see you next time here on Gwinnett Business Radio.
Get that looked at.